Hello, Wednesday night GCSE class. I'm at home, so I'm going to look here at solving equations, which is what we would have been doing in class if we'd had a normal class. So here we go. So if we look at x minus 7 equals 5, the answer to that is just going to be whatever makes the equation true for x. So if you were writing it down, x minus 7 equals 5. The answer there is 12. And you will know some of the answers just from using your common sense. So you could write x equals 12. Now, what I've said to you in class is you can, if it helps, if it's complicated, you can move things from one side of the equation to the other, provided you change the sign in front of it. So if you were less sure about that, you could start with the same thing. X minus 7 equals 5. Move the minus 7 to the other side, so it becomes plus 7, and in that way you get your 12. Although in some cases you'll be able to see what the answer is without having to do that. So that's what you're doing when you're dealing with equations. To get the solution, you can move things about from one side to the other, provided you change the sign in front of it. Let's just take another example. If we look at y plus 8 equals 3, which is question 12 there. Now, it's not as easy to get the answer there in a common sense way. It's just harder to see what the answer is, but if you're not sure, then you can move the plus 8 over to the other side as long as you make it a minus 8. And then think about what that is. 3 minus 8 is minus 5. And again, we've talked a bit about negative numbers, so see if you can get your head around dealing with that. 3 take away 8, you're taking away more than you start with, so you go down into the minus numbers. And the answer would be minus 5 for y. If there is like what's called a coefficient, a number in front of the x, like in question 17 there, it is 3x minus 7 equals 0. Now, what we would do is move the minus 7 over to the other side, make it plus 7. But we've got 3x's now equals 7, we want 1x, so we divide both sides by 3. So you can write it like that. We talked about top-heavy fractions. 7 over 3 is the same thing as, if you divide 3 into 7, it goes twice with 1 left over, and keep the bottom line the same, so you're still in thirds. So the answer there is x equals 2 1/3. If you start off with 3x minus 7 equals 0, then the value of x that would make that true is 2 1/3. If you have x's on both sides of the equation, like there at the bottom, then you've got to kind of move, the best advice is move all the x's to one side, all the terms involving an x, and move all the numbers to the other side. So if you start off there with that number 1, I've lost it. There it is. 7x minus 3 equals 3x plus 8. Okay, now move all the x terms to one side, but you remember you've got to change the sign in front of them. If there's no sign in front of it, it means it's plus. So leave the 7x where it is, move the 3x over, but it's plus at the minute, so make it minus. Move that minus 3 over and make it plus. You don't always need to put a plus in front of it. If you don't put a plus in front of it, it would be assumed to be positive. Now, 7x take away 3x is 4x. 3 plus 8 is 11. And again, we're in a situation where we've got 4x's, but we just want 1, so we divide down by the 4. it might be acceptable to leave it as a top heavy fraction like that, or you can say 4 goes into 11 twice and 3 over and keep the bottom line the same. So the answer, which is very hard to see just using your common sense, to number one there, where there are x's on both sides of the equation, is the value of x that would make that true is 2 3/4.